We cannot prove at all that there is some kind of political motivation or some kind of concerted effort to take down Alex Jones. But we can be conspiracy theorists ourselves. We can stay up until 3 a.m. with like coffee and cigarettes and pinning things together on a board with tacks and string, like pictures, and we can do that too. We can be that crazy guy too. So maybe we should indulge a little bit, okay? So,
Sure.
this is an article from December of 2020. This is mostly regarding COVID stuff. How should you talk to your friends and relatives who believe in conspiracy theories? This is like a lifestyle article. This is not a serious news piece, it's a fluff piece. But let's check it out, okay? You're dreading the moment. As your uncle passes the roast potatoes, he casually mentions that a coronavirus vaccine will be used to inject microchips into our bodies to track us. Or maybe it's the point when a friend, after a couple of pints, starts talking about how COVID-19 doesn't exist. Or when pudding is ruined as a long-lost cousin starts spinning lurid tales about QAnon and elite Satanists eating babies. Oh my god. So, I think I recall this. It was like 2018 or 2019, Lilith. And you posted a tweet that inspired a video of mine. And the tweet was, it was a trans person waving the trans flag and then having a turkey shoved on their hand in the other hand. You remember that?
I don't remember that. What was that?
Okay, hold on.
They have a turkey?
Okay, so I can't find it. Shit. I did a video. In the thumbnail of the video, there's a trans person with like brown skin and short purple hair, and they're screeching, and they're waving a trans flag, and they have a turkey shoved on their fist in the asshole of the turkey on the other one. And it was supposed to be like a trans Thanksgiving thing. There was that picture. And you posted that.
Was that me?
It was a drawing. It was a drawing. And someone took that. No, you took that picture, posted on your Twitter, and you said, this is what these crazies want you to think trans people are, but we're not this. We're not this fucking crazy.
I don't remember saying. Sorry, I'm.
Oh, it was like 4 years ago.
Blanking out. Were you remembering somebody else?
Oh no, it was definitely you.
I'm trying. Because I'm trying to remember the turkey.
It was a cooked turkey. It was a cooked turkey.
I don't. There's nothing like that in my mind, but you might be right.
Okay, can I? Maybe if like I find the picture, you'll know. Hey, chat, can you guys like find that video?
Oh, that one.
Yeah. So you definitely took this and posted it on your Twitter back in the day. And you were like,
oh right,
yeah.
What the frick? That's such a, but it's such a.
Okay, so
an imagery. Why?
Yeah, so
I feel like when you mentioned it, I thought it was like, was this a fever dream? What the hell?
So this image, it looks like it's a meme. It looks like it's a fucking joke, but it was used unironically. It was used unironically in like a pro-trans Thanksgiving article where it's like how to confront your racist conservative uncle at Thanksgiving, how to shoot them down, and it's like, chill the fuck out, guys.
I
like,
remember
Jesus.
now.
Yeah.
It was used like why do you make? That's how you portray trans people, a crazy pink-haired person. I mean, I'm sure some are.
Fisting a turkey, for fuck's sake.
Fisting a turkey.
So
why are they fisting a turkey? Because their relatives drove them so crazy, I guess. But why?
So I'm bringing that up because this article kind of plays off of that. You know, like how do you deal with crazies at the dinner table during holidays? You know, the uncle you only see once a year or whatever. Now, rather than this being about like LGBT stuff, this is about conspiracy theories. How do you deal with your uncle who thinks that a coronavirus vaccine will inject microchips into your bodies? Or talking about how COVID doesn't exist? Or QAnon or elite Satanists? Now, first of all, the left itself, they're also very in on the conspiracy theories. They talk about the globalist bourgeoisie 1%. You know, they talk about Bill Gates just as much. Like it's not fucking pretend that this isn't like a bipartisan thing. It certainly is. All right? But still, how do you talk about conspiracy theories ruining your family get together? Okay? So this article gives you like
laugh about it.
It's a keep calm, don't be dismissive, encourage critical thinking, ask questions, don't expect immediate results. Okay, so
Soy, 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 soy,
soy, soy,
soy.
soy, soy. So let's
No,
actually go.
soy. No. What you do is you play into it.
Yeah. So
You
so
you play into it. You go even crazier.
so,
You go even crazier than your relatives. You go if they think like fucking if they think that 9/11 steel beams and shit. You just say the tower didn't even exist.
the tower never existed.
The tower never existed. I mean,
Mm.
has there been proof? Has anybody seen the towers for 20 years?
They vanished. Okay, so with Alex Jones being the primary conspiracy theorist peddler, we should look into some of these conspiracy theories. Okay, so for example, this was a good one. This was like this is surface level Alex Jonesery. Okay, remember when Alex Jones said that whenever Silicon Valley gets called out on their shit, they just throw some Indian out in front to act confused and say that they don't think they're doing anything wrong, and that is exactly what Twitter did on the Joe Rogan show a few years ago, where Jack showed up with this Indian woman who was like, I don't know what you mean. We're doing okay, aren't we? Like, I don't understand. Like that was the meme, 3 or 4 years ago. Let's check this one out. This is from 2019. Okay, so about 3 years ago. Alex Jones, Joe Rogan war leads to conspiracy theory meltdown. InfoWars host says that babies are being harvested for their organs. Okay? Seems pretty
Yep.
crazy, right? That seems pretty fucking crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds
So,
like Alex Jones, but
yeah.
then
But then, hold on. Okay. So, after a recent feud, Jones is invited back on Joe Rogan's show. While speaking with martial arts instructor Eddie Bravo on an episode uploaded on Wednesday, Jones began shouting about infanticide. I came here and I proved they're keeping babies alive and they're taking their organs. The Senate voted Monday to keep it legal. They fucking did it. Bravo. And you can't fucking admit they're killing already born kids. So you're telling me it isn't real when they had a fucking vote in the goddamn fucking Senate. That's a conspiracy theory, that Bravo responds. I am ready to beat your fucking ass, Jones answers. You think you're fucking tough? You're about to get it. Bullshit. They're killing already born babies. Stop fucking lying. God fucking damn it. I'm getting pissed. So, Jones is going off. Jones is fucking unhinged at this
I'll
point.
beat your fucking ass.
He's fucking crazy.
Anyways,
When contacted for comment, an InfoWars representative sent Newsweek articles about late-term abortion, including a Slate report dating to 2012. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and assume that you're simply ignorant and not malicious or mentally challenged. Okay. So, Alex Jones is ranting. This is back in 2019. Clear conspiracy theorist. And this is going to be used to restrict abortion rights and all this shit. It's going to make people... You can already see the narrative unfold. This is what a leftoid would say, is that Alex Jones needs to be censored because he's going to make things worse for women. Okay. Well, what came out recently... So this came out about a year ago, 2 years after this rant happened. Federal government caught buying fresh flesh of aborted babies who could have survived as preemies. So, the U.S. government has been buying and trafficking fresh aborted baby body parts. Now, if you believe that a fetus is a baby, then the whole they're killing babies for their body parts, that language makes sense here. So, these body parts, purchased by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to humanize mice and test biologic drugs in scientific experiments, came from babies up to 24 weeks old in gestation, just weeks from being born. Okay, that's kind of crazy. So,
I mean,
records indicate that ABR...
waste not, want not, right?
Waste not, want not. So...
They were gonna get aborted anyways.
Yeah.
So
the company... So there's a company called ABR that makes millions...
I mean,
This company makes millions every year by harvesting organs like lungs, livers, eyeballs, and brains from aborted babies and reselling them at profit. ABR was paid $12,000 up front per box of babies. Some of them were survivable outside of the womb, between the gestational age of 16 to 24 weeks. Most purchases are for intact thymuses and livers.
Oof.
Yeah. Intact thymuses and livers shipped fresh and on wet ice. An FDA doctor, with the callousness of picking a cut of meat from a butcher shop, an FDA doctor requests tissue samples be procured from a baby boy, as they claim it is strongly preferred to have a male fetus if at all possible. But undetermined sex or female is better than no tissue. Okay, so there's this stuff. Now this is from the Federalist, and the Federalist has a right wing slant for sure. So maybe
Yes.
maybe this is just like who knows, right? So we can keep going. Here's Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Fox is a more mainstream right wing source, and this is 6 months later. 6 months after this previous report, millions in federal money flowed to a tissue bank that collected fetal heart, gonads, legs, and brain. And this report came from the
What is
University
this? 4
University of
weeks is it
Pittsburgh.
fucking?
Yeah. So the University of Pittsburgh, the Department of Health and Human Services has funneled at least $2.7 million into a University of Pittsburgh project that utilizes a tissue bank with organs. Okay, so there's multiple organizations doing this sort of thing right now, okay? It
I mean, yeah, it's
it's pretty
yeah,
oof. It's pretty oof. um so
especially when profit is involved.
Trump put a ban on it in 2019. He banned it. And this came out of the National Library of Medicine. It was just basically a paper signed by some researchers who were saying that we should not ban it. And they were saying like this tissue is being aborted anyway. Abortion is still legal in the United States, and so as long as it's being aborted anyway, this tissue actually is useful in medical experiments. There have been good things to come out of it because there's various medicines and studies and whatever the case may be. New data has come out of examining this stuff. So we shouldn't be stopping it for a moral reason like that because they're getting aborted anyway. And that was their point of view at the National Library for Medicine. So they wrote this paper saying, here, we the undersigned believe that we should be able to use this tissue to solve these problems. And they mention some HIV research, they mention some other research. So it's like, okay, fair enough. Like there is obviously a benefit here. And then this happened April 2021. Biden's National Institute of Health has officially rescinded the ban on using fetal tissues in research on Friday. So Trump banned it in 2019, Biden unbanned it in 2021. So there's probably going to be a partisan going back and forth on the use of these body parts for some time. But the point being is that everyone was calling Alex Jones a conspiracy theorist back when he yelled and screeched this on the Joe Rogan show, but it turned out to be at least kind of correct.
Yep.
And that's the important part, is that like you can move the goalpost and say, okay, it's true, but we just think it's good. That's a different.
Buddy, and then Alex Jones right jar.
Yeah, exactly. So like the we do it and it's good conversation is a different conversation than the we don't do it conversation. So they were saying we don't do this. It's so crazy. Alex Jones is a conspiracy theorist, but it turns out he was kind of right in that one. All right.
Yes.
So then you have to ask, well, what else has Alex Jones said that has turned out to be true, at least partially, at least from like his own arguing position, from his own point of view, from his own definitions? What else has turned out to be correct? Okay, so this was back in 2015. Bill Gates is funding a birth control microchip that lasts 16 years inside of your body and can be turned on or off with a remote control. Now, Alex Jones has been talking about microchips in the body for like 20 fucking years now. To say that people aren't looking into this just seems to be ridiculous. Yes, people are looking into this. And the idea that you could, like, this sounds pretty convenient, right? Like, oh, what if I could have a microchip and then for 16 years I can control whether or not, by touching a button on my phone app, whether or not I can get a girl pregnant. That sounds pretty cool. But then you think about it, well, what if it's not you who has the app, but it's the government? What if you suddenly, the government is, suddenly these chips are going into everybody all the time and the government controls your fertility? That doesn't sound very good either. So like, yes, there's a convenience argument. And then there's well, what if the Republicans come into power and make everyone have kids? Or what if some crazy fucking progressive comes into power and makes everyone sterile? Either way, like, it should not be some central authority's position whether or not you should have kids, period. All right. So
yes, let's just say that this technology has the real possibility of getting used for evil and lots of it.
Yes. Yes. So this idea, people are like Alex Jones has ranted about microchips and Bill Gates, but you know what? Some of it seems to be at least partially true. You know, this one was kind of goofy, where the Australian health chief actually used the phrase "New World Order" in a speech. I watched this video, um, but basically she says we will be looking at what contract we will be looking at what contract tracing looks like in the new world order. Yes, it will be pubs and clubs and other things if we have a positive case there, but our response may be different if we know people are fully vaccinated. So this is talking about COVID contact tracing, obviously. But she uses the phrase new world order, a really dumb fucking phrase to use, and the entire internet lost their mind about it. So this is probably more of a
You
case of
think that these government officials would avoid using those triggering terms.
yes, yes. And this is probably just like a really dumb fuck mistake and not actually indicative of anything. But you know
It's
what?
like Trudeau saying, we're gonna have the Great Reset."
Yes, yes. Or you have like Klaus Schwab saying that he's injected people into the cabinets of various countries. You know, like shit like this where it's like it's possible that you guys are absolutely fucking evil, or it's possible you're really fucking dumb. Like it's possible. Who knows? You know?
Or they might be so evil and they're like blatant about it.
Yes, that too, right? You don't know. So
Yeah. Or they could just be like idiots.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Alex Jones has talked about semi-comedically, like always ranting and raving about how the 1%, you know, the globalists are sucking the blood of young people to stay alive. And then you have this shit happened in 2020. Could young blood stop us from getting old? And then you have like rich people who are like getting blood infusions from young people. Like, remember seeing that shit? Like, it's crazy.
Okay, but what if we could create young blood without harm? And what if that worked?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. But still, though, like we're not at that point yet. And so, should old people be getting just like paying for young blood transfusions? I don't know about that. That seems kind of ridiculous to me.
What if the young people get rich from doing that? That'd be a way of redistributing the wealth.
I mean, that's true. That's true, right? The issue
Because
there,
old
though,
people have more money.
like the capitalist in me says yes, obviously, right? But then you have like the argument against it seems to be more of a lefty argument where it's like even if they consent, it's still kind of exploitative.
But yes, this is a case of Alex Jones was probably right.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was right.
Yes, it's another Alex Jones was right. Yeah.
If there's some backings towards it, it's probably.
Yep. So, also.
But then again, that old people have a young blood. That was in Simpsons too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. This a lot of this stuff has been floating around the comedy sphere before it turned out to be real. Alex Jones's most famous quote is "turning the frogs gay." The chemicals are put in the water is turning the frogs gay. And then it turned out, this came out, male frogs may be turning female thanks to estrogen in suburban waste. The frogs gay thing is at least
the femboy frogs.
Femboy Pepes are out there, guys.
Trans and femboys.
Basically,
frogs.
Estrogen
Gay
waste.
Frogs.
So the idea seems to be that certain foods have a lot more estrogen in it. Women who take birth control, they piss out estrogen. So there's a lot more estrogen in the water supply right now, and that might be leading to certain feminization of things. Like male sperm counts are down. There's some hypothesis that might be part of it. We don't know yet. It's possible. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's possible. But the frogs gay thing seems to be related to the amount of human estrogen waste in the water. So like,
it's very memey. But there's some truth to it.
Yes, there's some truth to it, you know?
Another dollar into the Alex Jones was right.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Regarding more implants, Pentagon has developed an implant that can detect COVID that they put underneath your skin. This came out last April 2021. So, they've built a microsensor that goes underneath your skin that can detect your health situation. They used it so that they invented it so that soldiers can have their health monitored during a mission, which I can see how there'd be utility in that if you're a soldier. But like,
it's a pretty cool technology if it works.
Yeah,
it's just like the obvious question is, what if it becomes mandatory?
Yes, and also what if it becomes used on civilians, and what if it becomes used for more than just health? And like, there's so many like, basically, Alex Jones is talking about microchips, and we do seem to be heading slowly in that direction. Um,
Yes.
what else do we have? Oh yeah, so the WHO has published a guidance document for countries and implementing partners on the introduction of digital vaccine certificates. And the work was funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation. So this came out of the WHO's website, Digital Documentation of COVID-19 Certificates, Vaccination Status. So back when COVID started, all of the conspiracy theorists, including Alex Jones, said they will never make vaccines mandatory. That was a lie. They will never have vaccine passports. That was a lie. They'll never push for digital ID and digital vaccine certificates. That was a lie. They'll never make you scan your phone going into a business to ensure that you had your vaccine. They'll never actually make you verify it constantly. That was a lie. They'll never restrict movement. That was a lie. Like, so many things. People, again, mostly leftists, people, when COVID first hit, they're like, we'll never do this. You're crazy for assuming it. You're crazy for predicting it. Even like leftist YouTubers and stuff said that it was right wing misinformation and disinformation and conspiracy theories, and these people are crazy. They're undermining public trust. They need to be deplatformed. Fucking everything, and it all came true. It all came fucking true. And I don't like being the guy who has to sit here and say that it came true, but it came fucking true.
I've heard people say that COVID, like passports, was never going to be a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then it became a thing.
Yeah.
Like we're not anti-COVID or anti-vaxxers here. It's not even that big of a deal, personally. I think unless they're like microchipping people. It's just like a piece of paper that says I got a shot. That's fine. They should have never denied it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
They
here's the
should
issue
just
now.
never said, "Oh, you're crazy."
The issue now seems to be, now that they've gone back in so many things and they've tried to rewrite history so many times, now they're saying we will never microchip you. So everyone is like hyper on edge, and they're like, we know what's going on here. We've seen the song and dance that has played out since early 2020. You know what I mean? Like, everyone is now being like, no, we know what's coming now. You're saying that we're not going to do this. Let's see what happens in a few years. That's what everyone's saying now.
Yeah.
And then finally, the biggest conspiracy of all, the girls were just so young. The horrors of Jeffrey Epstein's private island. Alex Jones
Oh,
has been
that
talking
one.
about the pedophiles in Hollywood and in the news and in the ruling class for
Before
so
anybody.
for anybody, and it was always just crazy conspiracy theories. And then, like, the Epstein Island thing was probably the most blatant example of it, where it happened. We all know that it happened, and everyone has agreed just not to talk about it. You know what I mean? Everyone has agreed not to look into it. Everyone has basically said, no, he clearly hung himself. Shut the fuck up. And like, everyone knows. Everyone knows that it's a fiction.
Don't question it. Just don't
Yeah.
look into it.
So this great meme was sent to me by Charles Kahn. So, how should you talk to friends and relatives who believe conspiracy theories? Here's what you say. Hey bro, you were right about everything. I'm sorry. that's how you fucking deal with someone like Alex Jones. you just admit it, I guess. I guess that's the case.
Oh no.
So,
Yeah. It's funny how our world works.
yeah. What seems to have happened, though, my actual honest take on Alex Jones seems to be something more like, Alex Jones is kind of like Nostradamus, where he made a billion predictions. Most of them were wrong, but
But
the
some of
ones,
them are bound to be right.
yeah, some of them are bound to be right, and the ones that were right are like really high profile.
Yes.
They were really high profile.
The ones that he was wrong was high profile too.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
Sandy Hook shit that
Yep.
ruined him.
Yeah, that's
But
true enough. Yeah.
he also had some high profile hits, like the whole Epstein shit.
Yep.
Like, I was talking about it, like, after hearing about it. I probably didn't even know he was the one who said it at first.
Oh yeah.
But like, I was talking about it back in like fucking 2017 or some shit earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I had it was just like these horrible things that these rich people are doing. And it's just like I get looked at. It's just like I'm looked at. I'm like I'm crazy. Like like this supposed to be pre QAnon, but like if QAnon existed, I would have probably got called that too.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And the worst part is like the people who still call him just a conspiracy theorist. They kind of it's like what the fuck are you doing?
He's a character. He is a conspiracy theorist, but he's also more than that, I think.
Yeah, and but you see people. So when it comes to the mainstream media, they are protecting their own interests. They're gonna say, "Oh, obviously he's a conspiracy theorist, you guys." But like,
Yeah,
then you see like some
yeah.
YouTubers though. Like YouTubers should know better at this point. We're more on the ground. We're more like regular people. We're kind of closer to things. Like you should know
We don't
better.
purport to be the arbiters of truth.
Yeah.
We're learning just like you.
Hmm. Hmm.
But it's why it's like we're not the same as like those big media profiles where it's just like they have an entire team
Yeah.
where it's just like
But also more importantly though, we don't
mhm.
have the same interest that they do because
Yes,
they are official
we don't
news.
have the same we don't have the people paying us.
Yeah.
It's just like to tell us what to say and that type of shit.
Yeah. Real Holtzner for $5. Thank you. Alex Jones was right in the same way that you're bound to hit your target if you aim in the right general direction and are close up with a shotgun.
We're more on the ground, is what I mean.
Yes, more on the ground. In some ways, yeah. But also, like, we're less ideologically possessed, let's say. You know, like, I'm
Yes,
not interested in.
we have our own personal biases, but we try to like we don't have like people telling us like this is what you need to believe.
Yes, exactly. So, like you might have like a right wing pundit who are like, Alex Jones is never wrong, based, he predicted everything, he knows what's going on, legitimately believe Alex Jones is like, chill the fuck out, all right. But then you also have like a left wing, like left YouTuber, like a bread tuber or something, and they might say something like, if you believe in anything that Alex Jones says, you're a conspiracy theorist Nazi, you're part of the problem, you're radicalizing people. It's like both of you guys need to chill the fuck out, all right. Like just calm down. it Admitting that Alex Jones was right about some very bad things does not make you a bad person. It does not make you a conspiracy theorist. It doesn't. You know, oh God, the truth is the truth, regardless of the political inconvenience of it. The question is, has Alex Jones been more or less correct than the general news companies? I get that he looks more unhinged, but is he less correct than they were? I actually don't know. I think what's actually going on. I think what's actually going on here is that Alex Jones has been more correct about things that the mainstream establishment has been like vehemently denying. It's like that never happened. You can't say that happened. You can't talk about like those kind of topics. Alex Jones has been correct about that, and I think that's what's important. Because if there was no stakes to any of these stories, and Alex Jones just said some wild shit, most people would just ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They would.
I think that's what's going on here is that where he's correct, it seems to be kind of a big deal.